All right, good morning, guys. If you pan over this way, it's in 360, for those of you who don't know. You can see my duck friends there. I'm on my morning commute. I thought I would talk to you about an article that I read. It is so cool. About the difference between a hub motor. It was well written, I'll put a link in. Hub motor versus mid-drive motor, right? So the positives are for the hub, less parts, which equates to less maintenance. And this is the other cool thing. It works even if your chain breaks. I've actually had before, when I went off a curb and the chain popped off, I could still accelerate because the signal is going into the motor. The motor has its own propulsion going on for the hub, right? Not true with mid-drive, and we'll get into that. The negatives are the weight and the balance, right? So you have all of the weight in that rear wheel. You can either have a hub in the front, the back, or I've seen bikes with both. And that's also kind of an interesting dynamic on how it affects the bike. I can read my notes. Limited on, oh yeah. This, I mean, you know, it's a slight thing, but if you have a hub motor like I do, you're not going to be swapping out the rim or the frame easily because you've got the motor in there. So it's not like that in the cassette. The cassette, I would never do that, but that's in the article, and I guess if you're totally into doing those things, that is something to consider. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, changing the tires. That's a total pain. So because mine, a hub motor in the rear, everything's there. You've got the cassette, you've got the chains attached, blah, 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 and it's a heavy motor. A total pain to change that tire. So that's definitely, so that's the hub piece. Now we have mid-drive, which again, I've not tried yet. I'm hoping to check one of those out soon. The gear ratio is a positive. So it's helping when you pedal. And yeah, the difference is, so, and that's an interesting difference. So with the hub motor, I'm helping the hub motor through the pedals, right? I'm adding strength to the pedal that helps the motor in the back do its job. With mid-drive, it's the absolute opposite way around. The hub the mid-drive is actually helping me pedal, and I'm helping it pedal. So we're all putting that pressure on the chain. So the other thing is that mid-drive is, the other positive, mid-drive is smaller and less obvious, which is true. Most hub motors are pretty big. The 1,000 watts can look ridiculously huge. And the other thing is they have, the last item, they have true torque sensing. So I think Juice did a great job of integrating, even though they had a hub, they had a torque sensor, and that thing worked beautifully. I guess with the mid-drive, they have a true torque sensing, so it can actually tell how much pressure you're applying, and that kind of makes sense. With the hub one, it's kind of an external sensor. The other one, I would imagine, is more integrated. Let's see what else. The negatives. So, as we talked about with negatives, I should probably get going to work here. So the negatives are that there are more parts. So if something goes wrong, there we go. If something goes wrong, there are more parts to get maintained. It's, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in that mid-drive system, so there's risk there. What else? Oh, there's more torque and pressure put on the chain. So they say an average human healthy puts between 100 to 250 during a sprint of watts in the system, if you will. Where a chain like this bike, if it's mid-drive, it can apply 750 pounds or watts of pressure. So that the chains typically will break. And I thought that was kind of an interesting little stat. The other thing which I didn't realize, which I thought was interesting, is that if you're in a mid-drive system and you're in a high gear, then when you come to a stop, it's a little awkward. But you know what? I think that's actually true. That's true with any of these bikes. So, like I said, so what I'll do is I'll put a link. You can read it. If you're starting to look at e-bikes, I'm starting to look too at a little more, you know, dynamic, some different. I'm looking for something different, unique, and I hope this helps you. It's a beautiful view. Can't wait till they finish the trail. All right, my time's about up here, so I'll let you guys go. Take care.